Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today, and I trust you all are keeping well. This time I am discussing success in seclusion, how to take advantage of remote working. Let's get into it. So many things had changed significantly about work in the past decade, but companies still required people to do most of their work at the office. Today, the vast majority of the workforce is working remotely, and many of us are seeing the change unfold in front of us. Businesses and employees did not have time to prepare for this. There was limited time to get the technology sorted. Change management had to come after, even though it's needed most, as for the first time, so many employees will be working away from an office. And similarly, so many managers will be coordinating with employees without face-to-face interactions for an extended duration. But it is worthwhile noting the areas where we are ready. Computing technology, communication infrastructure, especially broadband, have been ready to support this shift. Before going further in the presentation though, I have a question for you. Was your organization ready for this sudden shift? Did you have the technology ready to go? Did the employees have the right software, resources and application to work virtually? Were they psychologically ready? Were you ready for this change? From interactions I've had with my connections, no organization was fully set up for this shift. And if they were ready, they weren't ready for it to be at this scale. So needless to say, we are at the beginning of a new era. There is strong evidence that a great deal of innovation takes place during times of crisis. Cedal Neely correctly states that organizations will experiment more with virtual work going forwards. Organizations such as Amazon, Appen, Sanofi and American Express are much more advanced in running virtual teams successfully. A connection of mine who led engineering projects in Toyota was mentioning how Toyota was doing design reviews for parts over video conference calls between global facilities 10 years ago. I'm more curious about human interactions and how this will change. Will we become more global? Will we be able to be hired for roles in other countries because it's a preferred time zone for us? My curiosity about the future is at an all-time high, as you can probably tell. So in this video, I share my insights alongside thoughts from experts for your benefit. So let's get to answering the big question. How do you make a success of your seclusion? The answer is simple. Get the basics right. But on a lighter note, for many, this is a complex challenge, given that they're yet to master working in an office. Recognizing and acknowledging the change that has just taken place is a good place to start. While you may be familiar working remotely like me, it is not the same for everyone. Many are coming into this mode of working for the first time, and there is a reason why they didn't adopt this earlier. The first change is the use of technology. Going from offices where people could print easily to not being able to print documents is a change. Being able to ask a colleague about a shortcut used to be easy. Now it isn't. Not having two monitors to easily view information is a change. For some, a minor one, but for some, it is a big change. Reduced interaction with the manager is a second big change. Many employees will struggle with reduced access, direct support, and communication from managers. As mentioned earlier, this will be the first time many will be working remotely. For those new to the workforce, who are reliant on decisions and directions, this will be an uncomfortable space to be in. And even harder for those who are just settling into a new role and require more time to learn about their roles and tasks. And this leads to the next point, which is increased reliance and trust in people's own judgment. This can be daunting for many, and even more where people are used to bouncing off decisions with peers. Questions such as, should I include this in the email or not? Shall I take the approach Jane is suggesting or the one Mark had previously recommended? You see, these are small changes, but it draws a lot of energy from someone who is new to working alone and working virtually. I am sure the access to information is something we all can relate to. It is now not as easy as asking, hey Josh, do you know where the latest organization chart is? On one side, the employee might be hesitant to ask for this information online. And on the other side, another employee might get frustrated when asked for these basic things via email. While this is only an example, things like this can easily spiral out of control. Hence, it's recommended to acknowledge this as a change. The next point is about social interactions. Over time, employees can easily feel isolated, and it is easy not to give this topic a lot of attention. Social interactions is a big part of office culture, and it is hard to substitute that. Another connection of mine mentioned how they have games like conference call bingo to keep people engaged, along with a morning catch-up between the team, where they just generally chat, similar to chats while having coffee together. No need to guess what the current topic of conversation will be. The final point is to acknowledge distractions at home. Not every employee has a dedicated workspace. And if they did, maybe they're sharing it with their spouses as they're also working from home right now. Adding to that is the fact that this change is unplanned. So be sure to acknowledge and understand that there will be distractions regardless of your expectations. Not acknowledging the above and possibly many other changes will make the rest of what we will cover redundant.